family only remembered I exist when they needed 911 and I finally said no. My family never really cared that I became a paramedic until the day they desperately needed one, and suddenly I wasn't invisible anymore when I got accepted into paramedic school. I ran to the living room with the email pulled up, but Dad just muttered good. Mom asked if it meant I'd move out sooner, and my younger brother Mason, golden child family favorite, didn't even look up from his gaming headset, just said, "Cool, bro," before yelling at his friends online again. Every milestone afterward felt like shouting into an empty room. My first field training day, my first successful CPR save, my certification ceremony, none of them showed up. Mom claimed she had a nail appointment, Dad was busy fixing the car, and Mason said he was too tired from his basketball practice. Though he somehow had energy to post selfies at a party, I kept telling myself it was fine, that I didn't need their approval to do something meaningful. But every time a patient's family hugged me and thanked me, a tiny part of me wondered why mine couldn't care even half as much. Then came the night Mason crashed his bike while street racing with his friends, going downhill without a helmet because he wanted a cool video, and the moment he hit the pavement, suddenly everything became my fault. I was on a 12-hour shift when Mom called me screaming. If you had warned him about this stuff, he wouldn't be in the hospital right now. And Dad yelled, "Why weren't you there? You're a paramedic, shouldn't you be preventing these things?" As if I was supposed to babysit a 19-year-old man who thought he was invincible. When I arrived at the ER after my shift, Mason was lying on the bed with road rash across half his body, and the first thing he said wasn't "Hi" or "Thanks," but "Dude, why didn't you tell me going downhill that fast was dangerous?" Like gravity was my personal responsibility. Over the next month, every injury: Mason got twisted ankle from parkour, cuts from smashing bottles at a bonfire, a mild concussion from trying to jump over a moving shopping cart was somehow tied back to me, as if being the only medical professional in the family meant I had to stand guard over every reckless decision he made. Mom even told our relatives he never helps his brother, and suddenly I was being guilt texted by aunts who didn't even know what I did for a living. But the real breaking point came when Mason and his friends broke into an abandoned warehouse for a TikTok challenge and ended up getting chased by security. Mason fell through a weak floorboard and sprained his back, and instead of taking responsibility, he called me from the scene yelling, "Bro, come pick me up, I'm hurt, you have to fix this." And when I told him to call 911 like a normal person, he said, "But you are 911. At 3 a.m. the police called our parents, and within minutes Dad was screaming at me again, "Get down here and deal with this. You know how to talk to medical and legal people, use your skills." Like I was some kind of family repairman they could switch on after years of ignoring me. When I arrived at the station, Mom grabbed my arm and said, "If you cared about Mason the way a real brother should, he wouldn't be in this mess," and something inside me snapped. I looked at Mason sitting on a bench, arms crossed, refusing to even meet my eyes, and I finally said, "I save strangers every day. People who actually listen. People who value help. You all only remember me when you need something." Mom said, "We're family," and I replied, "Family shows up. You never did." I told them I wasn't covering anything up, wasn't smoothing anything over, wasn't taking blame that wasn't mine. Mason ended up with fines, community service, and a mandatory safety course, and none of them have spoken to me since. And honestly, for the first time in my life, the silence feels lighter than their voices ever did.